Hello, everyone. My guest today is Pablo Estevez. He's lived in the United States for 10 years and then after that decided to move to Mexico City to pursue a bachelor's in economics. Before founding his current company, Gus, Pablo participated in the management of a B2B sales team that was responsible for acquiring more than $2 million in new ARR for that respective company. In 2015, he founded Gus, an AI company that works with clients like Santander, American Express, and Cabify, and 30 others to automate customer service and improve customer experience using chatbots. Gus has been selected as the Diamond Prize winner of MassChallenge and is part of the Endeavor National Panel for Mexico. Pablo, are you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah.
All right, Facebook just shut off a bunch of these chatbots. Did that move affect you?
Not really. As a matter of fact, we got a bit lucky. It was only down for 2 weeks, and just the 2 weeks that we were down, we just kind of postponed putting bots in production. It really wasn't that bad for us.
They really just shut down kind of new bot connections, but anything that was existing could still work, no problem.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay, good. So tell us about the company. What do you do, and what's the revenue model? Is it pure play SaaS?
Yeah, it's kind of like a funny hybrid of SaaS. So what do? We work with customer service to automate customer service and improve customer experience. How do we do it? We develop chatbots, which is kind of a very common thing. But I guess our two differentiators is we focus exclusively in Spanish. So what we realize is there's millions of chatbot producers on the market, but in reality, very few of them are able to create great experiences in any language. So what we said is, hey, let's not try to do 10 languages at a time. Let's just start with one. And right now, basically, our market niche is focusing in Spanish for companies that have customer service needs, where we're basically automating anywhere between 80 to 96 in our most successful case of the customer service requests that a company gets.
96%?
Yeah.
And those were previously done by humans?
Correct.
It sounds compelling. So what's revenue at today?
So right now, we're at roughly 50K USD a month.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we're focusing primarily in Latin America, so the price point is a bit lower than what it is in the States. And the way you asked for pricing earlier, the way we're working is we charge a setup. It's very similar to the last time we spoke, and we charge a monthly fee based on the amount of conversations the user has. And then once in that basic sphere, the bigger the company, the more specialized the pricing. So With companies like Santander, it's very much a custom deal.
You're trying to bank, right?
Yeah, it's a bank. So with them, it's very much a private deal where we manage a team for them, and we have like a lot of people on call for that company, and they don't pay anything. They don't pay a monthly cost in terms of how much conversations they use. They just pay a monthly cost in terms of how many people we have working on their company.
So what are you at today in terms of total customers on the platform?
Right now, we're roughly at around 35 customers.
Okay.
Maybe hitting 40 by the end of this month.
Got it. So if I take 50 grand a month divided by 35 customers, each one's paying about, call it $1,500 a month on average.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be so essentially what happened is when we started, our pricing was a bit lower. We had a lot of really small clients, maybe startups. Right now, our new focus is enterprise deals, where we're basically seeing anywhere between $10,000 to $25,000 a month.
Okay.
So a lot of those 30 companies are paying very small amounts. And right now, one of our challenges is to start stepping up the revenue for everybody.
So true or false, there's one customer that makes up more than 30% of your current revenue.
Almost true, but not necessarily.
Okay, but close. More than 20%.
Yeah.
You got a lot of customers paying a very little amount, and then you have maybe one or two paying between kind of 10 and 20 grand per month, and you're only doing 50. So you're really reliant on those one or two customers.
Correct.
Make you nervous, or do you actually get excited about that because it's clearly something that can scale?
I mean, there's obviously there's a reason to get nervous, but I think it's more excited. We basically, one of our focuses for this whole year has been finding a niche in the market. What exactly we're going to do? What are we going to become very good at? And what we're realizing is there's a big demand for enterprise deals, for a company to come in to really get to know the company we're working with, to create a completely custom solution. And so right now we do have three, probably four by the end of this month, clients that are paying a lot of money. But I think that number is going to probably double in the next 2 to 3 months.
Is that 10 to 20 grand a month though? I mean, is that pure play SaaS, or are they really buying like humans on your team? It's actually you're more like an agency almost.
Yeah, it's such a mixture. Right now we're trying to like make it a bit more standard. And it's a mixture just because especially in Mexico, when you're going into these price points, customers really expect to buy the way they want to buy. So yeah, a lot of it is actually people on my team, but I'd say like a great majority of it is like I don't necessarily need to hire 5 people for every customer I close down.
Sure.
So like margins are good.
What are margins?
Roughly 80%.
Okay. I mean, that's damn good if you're putting human touch on some of these things.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some pure play SaaS companies that are no touch sales where their margin's only 85, 86%.
Yeah. Cause oftentimes, I mean, we have a lot of our workforce here in Mexico. We're charging dollars. So that kind of gives us a bit of leverage room. And then, like
what's the team size in Mexico right now?
Right now, we're roughly 20 people.
Full time?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And give for people that didn't hear your first episode, when did you launch the company? What year? So
we started in 2015, originally with the purpose of launching a B2C like customer concierge via WhatsApp. Little by little, we realized that wasn't going to scale. And one of our main focuses since the beginning of the company was automating the chats. So roughly a year ago, maybe a year and 4 months ago, we said we closed the concierge. We focus now on just pure B2B. And so we've been on this B2B model for a year and 4 months, basically.
And you're at 50 grand a month now. Take me back a year. What were you doing in terms of monthly revenue, just SaaS revenue about a year ago?
I don't have the number off the top of my head, but probably less than 20.
Probably less than 20?
Way less, actually.
Yeah. Good. So, I mean, look, good growth, right? So maybe 4 or 5x year over year is healthy. And now have you bootstrapped or raised capital?
We've raised capital.
How much?
So right now we've raised 1.2 million. And we should be reaching break even sometime in the next 2 to 3 months. So
how much are you still burning today? Like, are you talking like 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month?
Right now we're burning roughly, I mean, depends, but I'd say around 50.
50,000. Is that net or gross burn?
That is gross burn.
Oh, got it. Okay. What's net? What's net burn? Okay. So, I mean, you're about break even then.
Yeah, basically about break even. I mean, right now when I'm saying 50, I think that's 50 with the close of this month. So basically our focus right now is reaching break even. And we want to focus internally on making this company a bit healthier. So basically we have a very scalable business model. Right now what we need to do is manage our costs. And we want to keep on growing. But I guess the way we're looking at it now, we're not looking to triple down on sales. I think we're going to have, once we reach break even, we're going to have a reflection period, see what type of costs we need to have, see what costs we can. What
do you mean though, once you break even? You told me your revenue is about 50 grand a month and your gross burn is 50 grand a month, which means net burn is 0. You're already at break even, right?
No. So basically when I'm saying 50, I'm saying we should close this month with 50. We're also hiring a few new employees
50
right
in
now.
Expenses or 50 in revenue?
We'd be closing this month with 50 in expenses. Right.
Okay, so you have less. You have less right now.
40. Yeah. So we must be some.
Okay, but that furthers my point. That means you're cash flowing 10 grand a month if you're doing 50 grand in revenue, right? Like, are you burning? Is your bank account right now going up or down?
It should be like roughly around 40.
40.
And by the close of this month, it's going to be basically a 50.
So you have net burn.
I say the number because it's closed contracts. It just needs to start coming in. So it just depends on our production speed.
Yeah, but I just want to be clear. Your bank account right now is going down because you're doing 40 grand in revenue. You're going to have 50 grand in expenses by the end of the month. So you'll be burning about 10 grand in cash net.
Correct.
Got it. Tell me about churn.
So that's a good question. So basically right now we have no churn, but that's going to be a deceptive number simply because all our customers are on annual contracts of 12 months. Right now, our first 6 companies had to renew and they all renewed. Which is obviously a good sign, but I wouldn't get too excited about it.
Did you upsell all of them, or they all renewed at the same price?
No. So we managed to upsell 2 of them. The others stayed at the same price.
So what's net revenue retention year over year, would you say?
So right now we're not particularly tracking that measurement, that metric. It's something we're starting to do right now. We've just started a customer retention department that's going to track that.
Well, I don't know if you need a whole department for it, Pablo. Let's not get crazy. But generally speaking, tell me the story about one of those customers you upsold. What were they paying in year 1 and what did you upsell them in year 2?
So they were paying roughly $1,500 a month. Our last billing was for $5,000.
Oh, great. I mean, that's pretty healthy upsell, actually.
Yeah.
So that's like 300, 400% net revenue retention on that one customer.
Yeah. And so the other example of upsell, they were paying roughly $1,500 a month. And I think right now they're at $2,500.
Okay.
So
that's great. That's good.
Yeah.
Have you dialed in kind of CAC yet, or is it still too early? What are you willing to pay to acquire a customer?
We haven't dialed it in. Basically, what we know is that we can go pretty high, specifically for the market. So what's
How high
happening?
though?
So I mean, just like with this new model, these bigger customers that we're going in at, which are yearly contract values of 100K, we could pay easily 10 to 20K.
Where do you spend that money to acquire those customers?
The thing is, we're not really spending it now. Most of our sales are coming in. We have an outbound sales team, which is 3 people basically, and they're acquiring most of the customers. We're doing very little on marketing, and basically right now outbound is working. So we're trying out like a bit of inbound marketing. We're not spending too much money on it.
Like how much per month? How little?
Right now we're spending roughly $3,000 a month.
And how many customers will that drive?
So that's bringing in around
like one or two?
200 inbound leads, which basically is coming in at 1 or 2 customers. So basically we're trying to like focus in the marketing right now because we're getting a lot of customers that aren't particularly qualified.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you're running a $3,000 a month experiment and you're getting 1 to 2 customers, maybe 2 customers a month. So you could kind of say CAC is maybe $3,000, but you're still fine tuning.
Exactly.
Yep. What do you assume lifetime value is on these guys? I know it's early and it's a tricky number, but what do you assume?
I mean, it's hard to say that number because I'd basically be lying. What I can tell is from our first clients that renewed, they all renewed. I want to keep working with these people for 5 years. And also I think the value that we're creating for the customers, when you talk about like automating anywhere between, I mean, we have a case where it's basically 90% of customer service inquiries. It's kind of hard for a customer to leave you because if they turn off our software, they're going to need to turn on their recruitment engine.
Oh, yeah, they got to go hire customer support people.
Exactly. So
what do they do to all the ones? Do they fire them all when they hire you?
Not necessarily. It's kind of hard to track that just because companies aren't super transparent about what they're doing with their employees. What we found with the one company we work closest with is they just kind of reassign them on different departments, different projects. But yeah, so basically we want to assume that we can keep a customer anywhere between 5 to 10 years. But I obviously haven't proven that yet.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Very good. Let's wrap up here, Pablo, with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
Let me answer that then. I'm going to give that one some thought.
That's okay. If you don't have one, we'll just say no. You're not reading one right now?
No, I listen to quite a lot of podcasts. So.
Okay, what's your favorite podcast?
Yours, of course. I have to listen to the Tim Ferriss show quite a bit.
Okay, good. Tim Ferriss. That's a good one. Number 3, how many hours of sleep do you get every night? Or sorry, what's your favorite online tool for building the business?
Favorite online tool for building a business? These are tricky questions, man.
Just what do you use?
The one I use most is HubSpot, both CRM and marketing sales.
Brian and Halligan came to you and says, hey, we'll pay, you're doing 40 grand a month. So what is that? 500 grand a year. If he offers you 3x AR, do you sell for 1.5 million?
No.
You wait. 2 million?
Yeah. Anything above 3.5, I guess.
That's where it gets interesting for you.
Yeah.
All right. There you guys have it. If you got 3.5 million laying around, call Pablo. Pablo, number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
7 to 8.
That's good. And what's your situation? Married, single, you have kids?
Single.
Single. No kiddos yet?
Nope.
All right. And how old are you?
I'm 24.
24. Last question. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
To focus on one market at a time.
Guys, there you have it. Focus on one market at a time. Pablo, again, studied all abroad, then said, I'm going to Mexico, building this chatbot software. It's going to be exclusively Spanish. He's closed down a lot of big customers. So 35 customers total. He's got, very much power laws happening. A few customers make up more than 30-40% of his revenue, doing 40 grand a month right now in revenue. It's too early to dive too much into the economics in terms of unit economics, but 20 folks on his team, 3 people focused on sales. Right now, net burn is going to be about 10 grand per month, 1.2 million raised. Again, focused on scaling the business at higher first year ACVs. Pablo, thank you so much for taking us to the top.
Thank you. Bye-bye.